Welcome to your Mariners Routine Checkup presented by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. I'm Aaron Goldsmith alongside the skipper, Dan Wilson. Dan, it's great to see you. How are things?
Thank you, Aaron. Good to see you as well. And, it's going pretty well.
Man, what a month of April for your ball club. The offense has been spectacular. You had back-to-back Player of the Week awards, Dylan Moore, Jorge Polanco. I mean, there's been so many good things that have happened for your ball club offensively. What kind of stands out to you the most?
Yeah, it's been a pretty consistent month for us. And we talked a lot in spring training about, doing little things and getting runners on base, getting them in. The guys really have done an incredible job of that. We've got a lot of traffic on the bases. We've had some stolen bases. We've been able to kind of push the offense, push the envelope a little bit. But when you talk about Dylan Moore, you talk about Jorge Polanco and the weeks that they had subsequently, that does a lot for your offense as well. And being able to get the long ball from time to time is huge. And collectively, it's been a really good month.
I mean, Polanco's been on another planet. It's remarkable. He has not been at full health. He's obviously only been able to bat left-handed, a switch hitter normally. And yet, it's hard to think back to how many guys have been in this locked in of a state for as long as he has. And because he's only hitting from one side of the plate, he's not playing necessarily every day. I mean, how much harder does it make it for him with not sporadic playing time, but not everyday playing time?
Yeah, I think that is part of the mystery of this is just how well he's been able to adapt. And I think you mentioned that not getting the right-handed at-bats and just being able to hit left-handed, which keeps him out of the lineup a little bit. The other side of that is, being in the DH role when you're used to being an everyday player also can be, a difficult adjustment. But neither of those things have been difficult for Jorge. The consistencies that he has had, finding the barrel. Edgar talks a lot about solid contact, and that is the one thing that Polo's been able to do is just solid contact consistently at the plate.
Cal Raleigh, what a first month of the season, right? Signs the extension. We know he's going to be here for a long time. Obviously, the work behind the plate, and we know he hits home runs, but to come out of the gates as strong as he has and be one of the great home run hitters in the month of April in baseball, I mean, you never know when a guy signs a big free agent deal or an extension, how that might affect him, right? And it's like nothing has changed for Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, Cal that's the one thing about Cal is he's extremely focused, wants to win, and then offensively has just done a tremendous job, driving in runners, hitting the long ball. And, when you're able to fire on both sides like that, you're so valuable. And he has been, as advertised, he's been a big part of our offense, a huge part of our pitching and defense, and he just continues to be an incredible asset for us behind the plate.
I think we all kind of thought that we'd see Ben Williamson at some point this season, a rookie third baseman. We saw him in spring training. He was fantastic, didn't seem overwhelmed by anything, and that has continued with a fairly early call-up in this season for Williamson. The glove, we knew what that was going to be like, and it's been all that it was advertised. And at the plate, maybe a pleasant surprise just based on, because that was more of an unknown for Ben. What have been your impressions of him?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Ben had an outstanding spring training with us and has done a great job at third base, and that was, one of the things that we knew we could get from Ben is that solid defense, and it has been solid. But I think, his approach really fits in so well with what our offensive approach is and using the middle of the field. You see Ben never wavers from using that right center, approach. And really keeps him on a lot of pitches and has just continued with. He's so good and so disciplined about staying true to who he is. And that's a great sign of maturity for a young player. I think a lot of times the temptation is to try to do something more when you get to the big leagues, but he has not. He's stayed to who he is, and it has really gone well here for him early on.
JP Crawford was walking from opening day on, but the hits weren't there. And now it's just like you wake up one morning and now among his peers at his position, he's one of the best offensive shortstops in baseball and the best in some categories. When a player, especially a veteran player like JP, when that happens, is it just kind of sticking with the process in a matter of time, or was there a change of some kind for JP?
No, I think it is. It's just a matter of sticking with the process. And, obviously the glove, we've seen the glove play over and over again. The defense has been outstanding. And as you mentioned, the on base was outstanding. Up around 380, even though he wasn't getting a lot of the hits, but able to walk, able to get that hit by pitch, just to get on base. And that's been huge for us. But now, it has really started to find the barrel. And I think him being able to use the whole field again has been such an asset. It's great to see, again, from JP, both sides of the ball just flourishing.
Dan, it's wonderful to catch up with you for a little bit.
Aaron, it's always a pleasure.
I missed that. There he is, Mariners manager Dan Wilson. That is your Mariners checkup. You can schedule your checkup with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health by going to VMFH.org.